Good afternoon, we are live and we are setting ourselves up for our 4 p.m. sway and stretch with me, Kelsey Leverton. Good afternoon or good evening or even good morning or good day to you if you're playing Captain Catch Up today. I think I affectionately named one of our members, Joy, Captain Catch Up yesterday on one of my messages. Captain S, Catch Up maybe? Could be better for those females out there. We are Wednesday the 29th of July. It's great to be here as usual on our 4 p.m. preamble. And here I am just waiting with one other person that's not said hello yet in the background. If it's you, give us a hello. It's nice to hear from you and have a bit of chatter through these 4 or 5 minutes worth of preamble. So today we've got a little bit of progression coming in from our sway routine, and hopefully those hand and wrist movements, hang on, let me get both of them on there, will be sinking in a bit better. I think on day 1 and day 2 of a new sway routine, we're always somewhat bamboozled and it takes at least a couple of days, 3 days to get into it. Good afternoon, Di. You're in first on the movement register today. Great to have you. Ready to sway and stretch. Yeah, you can't have one without the other, I'm afraid, can you? They come as a parcel, a package, and always at 4. We can't do anything else at 4 p.m. now, can we? Like we can't do anything else at 12 noon or 8 o'clock in the morning without it feeling odd if you've missed something. Hello, me good mate Kate. Hopefully you're at work and you've got some of your residents joining in. Yes, no, sort of? Or are you walking? My mate Kate walks. She walks for 1,000,000 miles. She just keeps on going. Walking here, walking there. Don't you, Kate? It's great. My mate Kate is great. Right, who else is ready to say hello? We have got a range of different stretches, of course, coming up. So if you've been sat down for some of today, you might find that the backs of your thighs, your calf muscles, depending on what you've been up to with any movements that you've been doing today, you might need a bit of lengthening for the chest area. We're going to do a bit of a neck stretch today, actually. We did it on one of my 4 p.m.s a while back, but we'll get the neck loosened up through a few shoulder rolls and a bit of circ boost, and then we will give the neck a bit of a stretch as well in today's show. So Maddie's in. You're third on the movement register. So we've got Di, Kate and Maddie in first, second and third place. Mrs. P, you've come in 4th place. What shall we give you today? We will give you a aubergine. That'll do, won't it, as a random emoji. It's coming your way after we've done this movement snack. Hi Louise, good afternoon, and Wendy. Wendy's been driving the vacuum cleaner. There's a witch down at the farm park that's local to us. She drives a Zoom 67, I think. It's not your traditional broomstick, it's a vacuum cleaner instead. Legend has it. So there you go, your ultimate random fact for today. The local witch drives a Zoom 65, which is a vacuum cleaner. We need to get onto the movement snack. We're going downhill, aren't we? Who's going to give me the cue for the 3, 2, 1? We've got Gillian in and Jane coming in here. Hello and welcome to this afternoon's movement snack. Bex, is it time to go? Let's give you a wave there. I'm late, but great. Right, if you're late, I'm late. So I need to do my 3, 2, 1. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome. We are officially at 4 p.m. This is your sway and stretch movement snack with me, Kelsey Leverton, from Later Life Training, with a rather bright and warm Leicestershire countryside this afternoon. This is Wednesday the 29th of July. Hi to you if you're Captain Catch Up today, but if you're not and you're here with me on the live, let's get going. We're wasting valuable time. If you're in your chair, sit sway. Take your back away from the support, sit up and away from your chair, activate switching on postural muscles. Take a hip walk forwards, which is good for bringing us to the front third of the chair. And if you are working on becoming better at standing, then this forwards position in the chair will really help that. Let's start then with some heel pumps just to get going. If legs aren't so much on your radar, then by all means start with your arm swings, either one arm at a time or just bring both arms in together from the off. In standing, feet are hip distance apart, lift, lengthen, grow those 1 or 2 extra inches taller through your posture and move into either a foot pedal where you're just lifting and peeling the heels, or it's up to you. You might be ready and wanting to head straight into a rhythmical, not too fast and not too slow, leg march. Now, have a think about the support around you. You might need to tap into your support at certain points throughout today's movement snack. So see what's around you. Work surface, I've got the fridge door on this side. I can face my support square on or just have it to the side, whatever suits you. If you've got it to the side though, we might need to start moving the other side. So make sure that you're able to turn safely and change sides. So if you want, get some arm movements in. If you'd prefer to stop legs and bring some arm movements in there, then of course you may. Swinging from the shoulders, whatever you're doing. Elbows are pretty much fixed and set at about a rough 90-degree angle there. And I've just positioned myself so I've got the work surface just behind me in case my balance needs to take up a bit of support. If you have your feet hip distance apart in standing or marching, that will make sure that we've got a better base of support than if we were to be too narrow with our positioning there. Alright, so as promised, we will be progressing our sway into those up and down arm movements and wrist flick movements that we have been practicing. Take a pause there. In seated and standing, have your feet approximately hip distance apart. Free standing, but support close by, or with your hips against a surface. And that way you'll probably find it easier to move your arms both together into this sway motion. Let's just have a think about a bit of weight transference before we put some arms in. So what we're aiming to do here is keep the knees soft, the body lengthened, shoulders back and down, and just shift right side to left side. So there's your standing option. Do hold on if you need to. If you can make your sway a bit bigger, then of course feel free to do so. But if your sway needs to be quite small to begin with, then you've got a few options there. In seated, we have a sway, but we're transferring the weight from one side of the bottom to the other, maintaining good posture, having your hands down by the side of you if you just need to keep a bit of handheld support there. So I'm not lifting the hip away from the chair, I'm just shifting pretty much 90% of the weight onto one side and freeing up the other. Okay, take a pause there. Arm movements, let's do them without legs first. So we've got some switch type movements with the elbows slightly bent as we move through the motion, but actually coming into a straightened position here as I lead the movement down with the hands, with the heel of the hand should I say. So a bit closer, there there. So palm forwards, heel down, heel of the hand down, and then on the hand that's lifting up, we're leading the movement with the top of the wrist and the fingertips are pointing down. You can see I've got a little bit of a flick of the wrist there. And so we've got a couple of different speeds. We've got a quick wrist flick, and then we pace it down just as we go through the middle area of the movement. Seated, standing, exactly the same. Take a pause there. Okay, so if we've finished and our right arm, for example, is down, your right arm is going to be travelling up. We did a bit of a diagonal move, didn't we? So we've got right arm travelling up, top of the wrist leading the movement there, heel of the hand leading the movement down into the opposite corner. Take a pause there. Come here, left hand is down. So go into the left hand side, heel of the hand leading the low movement, wrist, top of the wrist leading the upward movement on a bit of a diagonal. And there we have. Okay, take a pause there. Seated and standing is exactly the same there. Take a pause and just watch. If you want to join me in just a bit of a sway, just so that you're active, just watch this part first and see how arms and legs fit together. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. My right hand's at the bottom, and then I'm going to go corner to corner and back, and corner to corner and back. Take a pause there. So from again, hang on a minute, leaning over to the side, 2, 3, this time my left hand's at the bottom, so I'm going to go corner to corner with my left, leading, and I'm still shifting the weight just on that bit of a diagonal flowing motion. Let's have a go. So right hand coming up first, leaning onto the right, 2, 3, quick wrist flick, 4, right hand's down, shift the weight across, lead up with the right arm and down with the left arm, and back to the middle. So this time we go left, right. This is the same in the chair, just shifting the weight one side of your hips to the other. The left arm should be down, across on the diagonal, and one more time with the diagonal and pause. All right, standing tall, hips against the surface if you need. Just take your shoulders through 1, 2 or 3 shoulder rolls, seated or standing, it doesn't matter where you are. That last one, press the shoulders back with your hands by the side in the chair. You could reach a bit further towards the back of the chair, or in standing we'll need to have our hands quite low onto our side of the bottom, side of the hips, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can do that in seated with this hand position. Depending on what's happening at your shoulders, you might be more comfortable with the back of your hand rather than the palm of your hand into your side of hip, side of bottom area. Hold it there, neck lengthened, shoulders down and away from the ears. Squeezing the shoulder blades together to lengthen and open the chest. Take a rest out of that, take a recovery. If you like, you can do one side at a time. I'm just going to show you this, and maybe you could try to have a go at this after the movement snack's done. For the time being though, people, go into that chest stretch again. We can have our hand quite low on a surface. Palm forwards onto a door frame, let's say. You'll take a few steady steps just away to open up the chest. Just one side stretching here. Point of tension, remember we don't want pain or discomfort anywhere. It's just a mild discomfort if anything. And then of course you would do the other side. Everybody take a pause out of that chest stretch. All right, let's head on to a calf stretch then. So, in standing, stepping one leg back, push the hips forwards, so you've got a little bit of a pelvic tilt, which will help lengthen just down here. Hold on for your balance if you need. Now, press the heel down behind you. Hang on. Front leg bent, back leg long and straight. Try and keep your bottom tucked under. And there we have maybe a bit of a stretch going on for some of you in the hip and in the lower part of the leg, calf. Seated. It's very difficult to get a hip stretch in here. It's almost impossible in the chair. But we can do a very good calf stretch. So leg out straight, pulling the toes back and trying to just sneak the heel forwards. If you're sat down later with your legs elevated, I mentioned this yesterday, you could have your legs elevated and supported and then head into this pull back position with the toes and foot and ankle and achieve a calf stretch there as well. Try and do one leg at a time. That way you can focus on one leg at a time and maximise what we're doing. We've changed legs here. So in standing, stride back, just keep the heel up a fraction first. Push the hips forwards a little bit so that you can feel the stretch coming into your hip, and then settle the heel back down to the ground, front leg bent, back leg straight. Hold it there. Again, trying to keep the hips tucked forwards rather than sticking our bottom out and really leaning forwards into whatever's in front of us. Chest lifted, back long, and take a pause there. All right, heading into seated then for the back of thigh stretch. So I've mentioned in yesterday's movement snack, it can be much better to come into this position to really feel the benefit of the stretch here, as in standing you've got a lot of other things to contend with. For example, your coordination to get into the position of the stretch, and your balance and some leg strength to hold you there, postural strength as well. Here we can lift and lengthen and tilt into it. Now that tilt is a tilt from the hips rather than around through the back. So just have a think about where the neck and shoulders are, and if you can catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror, then that could be a great descriptor to tell you what's going on with your posture. Feeling the stretch, back of the knee all the way up to the hip. 12 to 20 seconds is good for all of our stretches, and sometimes the longer we hold it, providing we're comfortable, the more chance and opportunity we give our muscles into giving us a bit more from the stretch. So you might find all of the stretch tensions really switched on as you first enter the stretch. As you hold it there, and breathe of course, that can help to release the stretch tension, and then we might be able to go a bit further, thus developing your flexibility more so. Recover. Right, I'm going to shuffle in now. I'm going to shuffle into you with my chair. Here we have a neck stretch coming up. So head, neck tall. If you can, tuck the chin back as we do in our morning routine comfortably, and then just tilt the ear directly towards the shoulder and just hold it there as one side lengthens. You can see the shoulders. I'm trying not to tip the shoulders or tip my trunk over. It's just the ear coming over. That was the wrong side, wasn't it? I'm in opposition, it's tricky. And recover, come back to centre posture, and off you go on the other side. So the lengthening is all the way from the top of your shoulder up to around the back of your ear area. Okay, take a pause. Let's head into our final stretch then. So hands on the shoulder, ease the elbow up, give it a bit of guidance, don't force it. Take it up as far as it will go and hold it there, feeling that down the back of your arm. If you want an extra bit of stretch for the side of your body, keep the elbow there, lift up or through your posture, really, really lengthen, and then add a very small tilt. You're aiming the elbow to get up here rather than go into an almighty side bend and where we look like a teapot. A long arm stretch, if this is the one for you, head the arm up to the ceiling, keep reaching, lengthening here and come out of it. Only need a few seconds there. Let's change sides. Walking the fingertips back, the elbows lifting, the trunk is lengthening a little bit into that as well. Hold it at whatever level you get to. You'll find your sticking point, and any much further will feel like you're forcing it. Stick at that sticking point. Feeling that down the back of the arm. If we want a bit more down the side, lift the posture, try and push the elbow a little bit higher, and you may come into a small sideways tilt. It's not really a bend, is it? It's just a much smaller range than perhaps you'd do in your morning routine. The full stretch, if you like, up, 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 lengthen posture, trunk is lengthening, and we give an extra stretch, extra reach, and come out of it, and get out of it. Get into it, get out of it. I think we're done. So that be your third movement snack for today, everybody. I've been Kelsey Leverton, and I am now signing off. I've got some dinner to make, some spuds to peel, some of these lovely beans out my garden to get topped and cooked up. And I will be crowbarring some of those reaches, stretches, bends, and all of that kind of stuff into what I'm going to be getting on with in the kitchen. And I'm sure you will be too. But maybe we can do it with a bit more mindfulness now about how we're moving, how we posture ourselves or set ourselves up in good posture, and so on and so forth. Have a lovely evening, people. We are all done. Signing off.